What's up, guys? Jared Welch, RacingDudes.com, back for another Kentucky Derby horse capsule. We are just really days away at this point, certainly days away for the post positions to be drawn, and then next week we get into the Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby 150. Hard to believe we are here. Let's look at Catching Freedom today. Catching Freedom, trained by Brad Cox. He's 1 for 9. Brad Cox is 1 for 9 in the Kentucky Derby. I mean, really the only one was Mandaloun, so you could really argue he's, 0 for 9. But he does have that win in the books. And then kind of very similar situation. His trainer, Flavian Pratt, he's 1 for 6 in the Derby, but that was also given to him when Country House was put up there in 2019 after the DQ. So again, two guys that have been kind of DQ'd into wins, looking for their first legit Kentucky Derby win, as well as looking for the first win. All Ball Family Stables, who own the horse. All Ball is 0 for 6 in the Kentucky Derby. Best finish was Angel Empire last year, where he finished 3rd. This horse has 3 wins in 5 starts. One of them was a 3rd place and then a 4th place in an allowance race. So $877,000 in earnings, and he sits at number 3 on the Kentucky Derby points list. Sired by Constitution, the dam is Catch My Drift by Pioneer of the Nile, $575,000 2022 Keeneland September yearling sale. All right, listen, let's take a look at the horse. I think, okay, one, he's a deep closer, so he's very similar. It seems like, like I've talked about a few of those on this list, but Sierra Leone being one key one, right, as far as the closers. Honor Marie, another one, ran really good. Like, let's look at the positives. He ran really well last out. I thought Catching Freedom ran awesome in the Louisiana Derby. Couldn't ask for much better. He kind of was well out of it, kind of came flying home, and then really just had a different gear as they were coming down the stretch, and really outran Honor Marie, like I mentioned in my other capsule about him. So, really not a lot of negative things to say about his run in the Louisiana Derby. Now, the concern is the exact positive, which is the running style. He comes well out of it. As I've mentioned in some of these other horses, that's going to be a concern for any kind of deep kind of closer in the Kentucky Derby, because you have the issues of horses getting stopped and traffic and just things that happen in 20 horse, but 19 other horses in the Kentucky Derby. It happens all the time. Every year we at least have 1 or 2 horses that you say, wow, look at that run. He was getting ready to go and then, got slammed or had to go got to go way wide. And then, that was just too much and blah, blah, blah. Like, so it's all about the trip, man. That's all. It's all, with this kind of horse, it's all about the trip. Do I think he's good enough to win? I don't know. Like, he's been a very inconsistent horse, I might even add as well. This is a horse that looks really good, and then the allowance race, Churchill, doesn't run well. Then he runs at Oakland Park in the Smarty, doesn't run so well in the Risen Star, then comes back and wins in the Louisiana Derby. So kind of a somewhat inconsistent horse as well. And my problem with him is pretty simple. Like, if you're talking about the deep closer class, and I'm just going to talk about like some of the main ones that I've talked about so far, which is like a Sierra Leone, Honor Marie, and Catching Freedom. To me, I mean, Sierra Leone is above both of them, in my opinion. Like, more talent, better horse. I don't have a lot of negatives to say about him. When you're comparing Catching Freedom and Honor Marie, I understand that Honor Marie got beat by Catching Freedom, but when you're looking at prices, I might be more inclined to play Honor Marie as an upside play versus Catching Freedom here in the Kentucky Derby. And it's more of just I get that horse did beat him last time out, but you're talking about closers in the Derby, you're having, there's already a lot of things that need to happen in order for your horse to get up there. And on top of that, it's like now the horse is like 5-1. I don't know. I think I might lean towards another horse other than Catching Freedom, but certainly do think he can win. Again, if this thing unfolds and kind of if like Fiercest doesn't run, or folds up pretty quick, you could see a bunch of these horses winning, and Catching Freedom would be one of them. So I mentioned previous videos that I like Sierra Leone quite a bit as a key horse. I don't know if I'd key Catching Freedom. I might be using Catching Freedom as an underneath play He might, as I land, kind of, as I sit here today, he's more of a probably will have to beat me, or I am okay with getting beat by him in terms of the on top. But that's just kind of where I'm at today. As far as the post positions go, again, this has kind of been a common one. I don't necessarily think it's a huge concern. Maybe drawn outside a little bit because he has been a horse that's somewhat slow. I would say kind of early in the races, maybe a Tapit Trice esque. So you don't want to get too outside, and you also don't want to be inside too far. Where if you kind of get out and you get banged around, and then horses are kind of coming by you, so maybe that 12 to 17 post position would be the most ideal for him. But again, a horse like him, mostly not too concerning because he is going to be running late in the race. So, all right, that's my thoughts on Catching Freedom. Again, we'll have tons more content headed your way when we know the post positions, when we know more about the fields. We're seeing horses drop out already. So as this field kind of hones in, we'll have all that information for you here at racingdudes.com, as well as the betting Bible. So if you're going to be playing the Kentucky Derby, make sure you go over to racingdudes.com and grab that betting Bible. Hit the like on this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Jared Welch. See you guys.